Alrighty, we're on week 2 here of fighting worldwide pencil neck-itis in the gym. You know the deal, sheer horse cockery. We're on the Arnold program, but I'll give more thoughts on that because as you see here, this is 585 that I'm doing for a set of 2. Now you can say, Sticky Ricky, Arnold is advocating 5 sets of 8 to 12. But I'll give my thoughts about this here, but let's talk about this next clip. Okay, this is 3 days later, so now I'm back on the Arnold program, and I'm doing 495 for a set of 8. Okay, so what I was going to say is I'm picking and choosing my sessions because the frequency is so high here. Some days I'm just going full ham bone, working up to peak weight, and then I'm dropping back down and not doing quite as much weight for these sets of 8. And then other days, I'm not going quite as heavy, and I'm just going full ham bone, balls to the wall on the top set of 8. So today, 495 for 8, which is pretty freaking good compared to last week where I topped out at, well, I didn't top out, but I think I was at 460, maybe it was 465 for 8. So far with the program, to kind of recap where I'm at, I did 405 for 12 the first leg day. Then I did 455 for 8, and then I think it was like 460, or maybe it was 465 for 8, and now we did 495 for 8. Afterwards, so this is back to 3 days previously, after I did the 585 for 2, I said, you know what, I just horse-cocked some serious weight. I'm not going to go super heavy on the stiff-legged deads, so I just used the heaviest dumbbells they had. I'm kind of looking at that as like a deload stiff legger. Here's the abs. As you can tell here, this is a mishmash of training footage, basically. I'm going to go day by day, but I'm not doing every single exercise like I did in previous videos. You don't need to see the freaking calf raises, the leg curls, the good mornings, okay? So I'm just kind of showing what I'm doing differently. So far with the abs, a lot of times I'm not getting to them, but when I do get to them, I was doing decline sit-ups, so that time I switched it to hanging leg raises because they're both good, right? The hanging leg raises are more of the freaking lower abdominals, and the decline sit-ups are more like the upper. Here's the bent over row. That was 355, so 20 pounds more than the other day I did that. And then here's the deadlifts. The man in the back is just astounded. He had applause his tricep pushdowns as he sees just this thick, gargantuous horse heft 605 for a nice, decent set of 4, followed up with some shruggery. Then afterwards, I believe here's the bench. This is 365. I can't remember it. I don't know how many reps. I wasn't keeping count of the reps. I want to say, I don't know, I wasn't keeping count. It doesn't even matter. You count the freaking reps. But anyways, again, I'm not including everything. On the chest and back, it's, that's what it was different about this time. Okay, but anyways, here's the bench now. So this is the 3 days later. That was 375 I did. This is 385. And I believe I did this for, again, I don't even remember how many reps it was, but that's why I film everything so that I can always go back and look. Okay, and then we got 315 on the incline. Let's keep in mind, just to remind you guys, the tendonitis is getting better, but that's because I'm using the shoulder saver and I'm not going all the way down, because going all the way down, it just, that little extra flexion in the elbow, it twinges it. I don't know what it is about that. So if I can avoid that last final couple inches, it's okay. It feels good. So here's 315 for 14 on the incline. That's 2 more reps than I was supposed to do, but it was just flying. So felt good about that. Now we're going back to the previous. This is the shoulder day now. Shoulder and arm day. So I changed up the way I'm doing the clean and press because, again, I can't press a ton of weight right now because of the tendonitis. So I said, well, I don't want to use my leg drive to hoist it up to use as much weight. So what I'm doing is more of just like a muscle snatch, pretty much. Muscle snatch in that sucker. Which actually, guys, this is a really good exercise. Just a little bit of hip hinge, and then you just try to throw the barbell as high as you can. So the pressing, and as I fatigue, obviously the bar is getting lower and lower, so it's turning more into like a press. But here's another angle with 20 pounds more 3 days later. This one's a bit more pressing, but of course I can press more now because the tendonitis is improving. But again, I'm not using any leg drive here. I'm still doing kind of the just the slight hip hinge and the muscle clean to press. So as you can see though, I mean, I'm putting these clips side by side because I'm comparing 3 days previously to the present, right? Here we have the lateral raises. Can't really tell what the weight is. I think it's like 65s, I believe. Here we go. I've decided to change up the form. I'm going single arm to really horse mega loads here, up to the 80s now. So 3 days ago, 65s, bumped it up to 80s, going single arm. You can get a little bit more momentum, but you also get more stretch in the delts. And when you do single arm movements, like I think it's like the motor unit recruitment is better or something along those lines. You're always gonna be stronger in a single arm movement for the most part. Like think about doing a dumbbell row versus a barbell row. You can always horse cock a little bit more weight. And then these are, again, Arnold has them as the upright rows, but he, in fact, the way that he wants you to do them is basically a high pull. That's the power phase, okay? I couldn't do push press. Still, I'm avoiding the tendonitis. So instead of doing the push press, I'm doing like the Arnold front raises. Ow! Ow! So I'm basically just using a bit of swing. I mean, doing all things in the sense of how Arnold did things. You know what I'm saying? Just animalistic grunting and groaning. So I figured, well, why don't we keep that theme going? So I grabbed the dumbbells this time instead of doing the barbell curl. So I'll just switch it up a little bit. Just because the barbell does aggravate the tendonitis a tad bit. I mean, trust me, I really want to get this tendonitis over with. It's almost there. It's almost better, but I believe one more week of avoiding those movements that really flared up. So anyways, yeah, using a tad bit of cheat, as Arnold loves his cheating curls. But anyways, fellas, again, mishmash of footage here. This is between, between 5 or 6 days, training days. So this is all in 1 week still. Again, there's 3 workouts. And here's I had to do tricep push downs. This is supposed to be close grip bench and standing barbell tricep extensions. So both of those destroy my elbows or the tendonitis. So this is the only triceps isolation movement I can do for now. But nice little angle there. Check out the horseshoe. Anyways, fellas, the point of this video, I think, ultimately is just to compare 3 days ago to the present. 3 days past to the present. And I love doing that because you can see it's always like, for the most part, it's always 10, 20 more pounds, a couple more reps. And at the end of the day, that's what's really freaking important. That's really what matters. You know what I mean? It's getting into the gym. It's giving it your freaking all, 100% effort, 100% intensity. And sometimes it gets hard, and sometimes you're feeling lethargic. You're like, damn, I don't know how I'm going to one up 3 days ago. But you freaking find a way. And that's the beauty of it. Whether it's another pound on the bar, another rep, another set, shorter rest times. There's always something you can do to better yourself. And really at the end of the day, no matter what program you're doing, that's the freaking key. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm interested in doing the Shmalov program once I'm done with this one, because that's a program I did, 13 years ago or something. I want to say 13 years ago I did that. And I've gotten a tougher freaking mentality, so I would like to try that out again. And the gist of that one is the same thing. It's just like putting 5 more pounds on every week. Same thing with the super squats, the 20 rep super squats, where you're just doing one set of 20 on the barbell back squat Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right? The whole key of that is just putting 5 more pounds on the bar. So any program you do, it doesn't matter what you do. It's just, mustering up the cojones to slap some more freaking weight on there and move it. And if your form breaks down a tad little bit, whatever, who cares? Because at the end of the day, you're freaking gripping more weight. You know what I mean? Like now, let me say this, for example, on the single arm lateral raises where I'm using more momentum than I could if I was doing both arms. Now, is it like recruiting the delts as much as if I was doing slow and control. I mean, who knows, right? I feel it like a freaking mofo, okay? I feel it, and I'm holding substantially more weight. The grip, right? The traps, just the freaking total body strength, right? The obliques having to stabilize as one weight is swinging up in the air. And that's just like total body strength, okay? So again, if your form's breaking down a tad little bit, but you're doing a tad bit more weight every single week, that's okay, because eventually you keep handling more and more weight, right? You did five more pounds 2 weeks ago, 10, or let's see how you do. You do 5 more pounds 3 days from now, 10 more pounds 6 days from now, 15 more pounds 9 days from now, 20 more pounds freaking, I don't even know where we're at. I'm not a freaking math statistician. What are we even doing here? But my point is, that weight that you will use momentum on and be a little herky-jerky with, eventually you'll get, freaking slow in control. You're going to get stronger, right? At the end of the day, the whole freaking key to success is just one-upping yourself, okay? And again, if the forms get sloppier, who gives a shit? It's the freaking effort, right? It's digging deep, and it's tough. It is tough. You go into the gym and you have to try harder. Every single time you get in there, you have to try harder. And sometimes you just barely eke out those reps. So when you're going back there 3 days from now, it gets a little intimidating, right? Like, I just barely eked out that freaking set of 8 on the squat. How am I going to eke out 8 more with more weight on the squat? Well, you know what? You freaking dig deep and you can make it happen, right? There's no doubt that you can't do 5 more pounds. No freaking doubt, okay? We are all capable of so much more than we even freaking know, okay? It just really comes down to how bad do you want it, really, right? On the set of 495 for 8 on the squat, I was just in a great mindset. My body wasn't feeling great because this freaking Arnold program is killer volume. My body wasn't feeling great. And you can see it, like the first 3 reps are okay. After that 3rd rep though, I'm like, holy shit, this is freaking heavy. But, I was fired up by the environment around me. A bunch of Johnny bodybuilders doing their lateral machine raises and just the most horse crap, easy, lethargic movements. And nobody's training hard. Nobody's, you don't hear a freaking peep. You don't hear a peep in the gym. You don't see a freaking ounce of sweat in the gym. Okay, the only sweat you see is from heart disease, basically. You're not seeing sweat from massive cojones digging deep, utter intensity. You're not seeing that. Okay, so I don't know. I just had this chip on my shoulder where I'm like, I'm going to show these freaking arseholes how you dig deep and bang out a set. So after 3 reps, I'm like, okay, if I was, a lethargic Johnny, I would rack it. But that's the beauty of the squat for the most part. It's like you take a couple breaths, you can always bang out another rep. You take a couple breaths, you can always bang out another rep. It's really freaking hard, and that's the whole philosophy behind the super squats program. The set of 20, the whole idea is pick a weight you can do for 10 reps and then do it for 20. And you're like, holy buckets. If I can only do it for 10 reps, then how the hell am I supposed to do it for 20? But the thing is, you can, right? You just have to take a lot of breaths in between the reps. And that's what they call breathing squats. It's just amazing, like, how far grit can get you with strength training, right? Just being tough. It's amazing how big and strong you can get just from being a freaking tough SOB. So that's the lesson of the day.